Hey, I'm Lana from Lana Glowshot Art, and in this video, we'll be unboxing the October 2025 Sketchbox. This box is all about exploring red and black ink and developing some sketchbook skills and mindsets. The surface in this month's box is really special, the Arnhem 1618 Custom Art Journal. This hardcover sketchbook holds 30 sheets of 100% cotton acid-free archival paper, and since each side is made to be used, you can fill this book up with 60 pages of your own original artwork using a variety of different materials. This book is the perfect match for the Speedball acrylic calligraphy inks. Your colors include cool gray, carmine red, black pearl, and metallic white. We'll apply these inks with the SketchBox Signature Quill Brush in size 0. This brush holds a generous amount of water or ink, and it also comes to a fine point, so you can cover large areas with ease and still explore detailed mark making, all with one tool. Here I'm swatching the carmine red, an exclusive color made just for Sketchbox. First, I swatched it straight out of the pot, and then I diluted it with water. Next, I swatched the black pearl. This is a fairly transparent color, and you can see this really clearly when you add a little bit of water. Cool gray is another Sketchbox exclusive color. It's a more matte and opaque color, and it contrasts beautifully against the shimmer and transparency found in black pearl and metallic white. Here I'm mixing carmine red with metallic white. This combination gives me a more transparent, shimmery glaze of color. For a softer, more subtle red, combine carmine red with the cool gray, and then for a deeper, shimmery burgundy, add the black pearl to the carmine red. You can, of course, play with your ratios to explore a wide range of different red tones, and you can combine cool gray with the metallic white for a shimmery, cool color. The prompt this month is movement, and here I'm going to show you different ways that you can move your brush to create some really spontaneous, beautiful, and fairly easy flowers. Here I'm using the carmine red and a bit of water to create these rings, and I'm specifically changing up the pressure in my brush so that the rings feel really organic, specifically leaving the top of the ring a little bit skinnier than the bottom. For a daisy or a coneflower shape, allow each stroke of the brush to be a unique petal. For these, I allow the petals at the top to be a little bit smaller and the petals in the foreground or at the bottom to be a little bigger. Next, I'm allowing my paintbrush to dance around the page to create a lupine or a lilac shape. Here I have used a lot more cool gray so that this flower looks cooler and reads more as a blue or a violet flower. For all of these flowers, I'm working more on a base layer with a lighter, more transparent color, so I'm using more water, and I'm focusing on basic shapes. I can come back later with more detail and deeper colors, and this is a great strategy to use when working with ink. Ink doesn't come off your page or erase the way that a graphite pencil would, so take it one layer at a time and work from light to dark. After letting that first layer of ink dry completely, I'm coming in and adding more details. For these details, I'm using more concentrated ink, so I'm adding less water, and I'm also utilizing my black pearl here a little bit more. I've also changed up the way that I'm using my brush. For that first pass of color and for these leaves, I am using the side of my brush to create those organic shapes. For the details, I'm bringing the brush up to a point and I'm using the brush more perpendicular to the paper. That helps me to create more controlled and precise details. While it might be tempting to outline every petal or to get every detail just right, instead focus on the movement and the spontaneity of the brush. And if you need some more detail and refinement, you can always use the SketchBox Signature Ink Brush. This brush has a built-in reservoir so that you can control the flow of your ink and take it on the go completely mess-free. Let me show you exactly how to get your ink flowing. Straight out of the packaging, your brush will not deposit ink. That's because there's this little black ring blocking the flow. Unscrew the brush, remove the ring, and then screw the brush tip back on. To get the ink flowing, you just need to point the brush down, give it a little squeeze, and watch it flow into the bristles. It's possible for this to take a few squeezes, and it's also possible to end up with a little bit more than you were expecting. So be sure to activate your brush over the top of a scratch sheet of paper rather than a developing sketch. That way you won't have any accidental drips or smudges that come out of the brush as you're squeezing the reservoir. Sketchbooks are the perfect tool for getting creative on the go, and this brush makes it easy to bring your ink along with you. I challenge you to step into a new environment, whether it's a coffee shop, your garden, or even just another room in your house, and explore all the different marks that you can make. Allow your surroundings to inspire you to explore new mark making techniques and even create marks that you've never made before. If you've never heard of cross-hatching before, get ready for a brand new tool that you can add to your drawing toolkit. Here I'm creating a value scale, separating this large rectangle into several evenly spaced boxes. Then I'm starting on the left with the darkest value that I can build up with overlapping lines. For lighter values, I apply fewer layers and I allow more of the white of the paper to show through, but I still have tons of texture. Throughout this process, I regularly needed to pinch my reservoir and get more ink flowing. And I always did that to the left on the scrap sheet of paper rather than over the top of my value scale. Cross-hatching is a powerful technique that allows you to add more value and movement to your drawing at the same time. Now let's add the ink brush into our flower painting. Here I'm dipping the ink brush into the carmine red, and this mixes up to create a deep burgundy. I'm using these small circular marks to create texture inside the center of the flower, and I do that over on the cone flowers as well. Here I'm emphasizing some details in the petals and the leaves, and I am being intentional about not outlining every part. It takes some practice to figure out exactly how you want to express your line and to develop your drawing language. And I encourage you to take several pages in your sketchbook this month to play and explore. Don't worry about everything being perfect. That's not what a sketchbook is all about. Sketchbooks are a playground, and there are lots of opportunities to make mistakes, to learn and improve and grow. Here I'm finishing off some petal details, and notice I don't draw every single petal. I just emphasize a few key points that are really going to draw some interest into a particular area. Now let's use all of these supplies together to paint this ballerina and really showcase movement of our brush and of our subject matter. Here I have diluted the carmine ink a lot by adding a lot of water and just a drop of the red ink. And I'm mapping in a gesture. A gesture is a quick, expressive drawing or set of marks that capture movement and energy rather than focusing on precise details. So for your gesture, proportions don't need to be exactly perfect, and that's exactly why we watered down the ink so much, so that you have space to adjust and make changes with future layers. For the second layer, I'm coming in with much more concentrated ink. This is carmine with maybe just a touch of water in. And I started with the tutu to show that really expressive, bright, bold color. And I'm also using this same punchy ink to begin to map out the contours of the ballerina. Before I get into the details of my ballerina, I want to begin to explore the background. And here I mixed up the cool gray and carmine red for a nice warm desaturated color. Then I use cool gray mixed with quite a bit of water to create this nice cool color that I'm washing over the shadows in my ballerina. This is going to help me create form on her figure. Now I'm coming in with my ink brush, and I want you to pay attention to how my hand is moving with this tool. It's quick, it's expressive, and it's almost dancing over the page. I don't have to get a line just right the first time. I can keep drawing and keep refining, and that approach helps me add more movement and energy into my drawing. At this point in the process, I was really pleased with my outcome and I really had enjoyed the process. But I want to take you behind the scenes a little bit and show you a little bit of the process that led to this drawing. Here I have several different versions of the exact same ballerina. I tried different approaches, different color combinations, and different ways of using my brush. And although most of the time you guys see the finished perfect product, there is a lot of experimentation and play that happens behind the scenes. And for me, most of that happens in a sketchbook. Sketchbooks have always been a huge part of my artistic growth and development, and I want you to get the most out of your sketchbook this month. I've linked a video in the description below that includes more tips for using a sketchbook and how you can use this tool to progress as an artist in as little as 15 minutes a day. As I finish up this ballerina, I am using washes of color in the background, and I begin to incorporate my metallic inks. I save these for the end so that I can use them as embellishments and to add a little bit of sparkle and emphasis. I also use straight carmine red to emphasize the edge of the tutu and to add a little bit more drama in the background. And now this piece is complete. I hope you learned a ton about working with ink and keeping a sketchbook, and we can't wait to see what you create. So be sure to use the hashtag SketchBoxOctober when you post your work online. For more unboxing videos and tutorials, you can check out our YouTube page where you can like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.